Hey everybody, I'm gonna give it another minute and then we'll get started.
Awesome. We're live.
Okay, cool. If you want to give me a host back, then feel free to hop off whenever you need to.
Awesome. Done. Yeah, I'll stick around for a few, then I'll hop off.
Okay, thanks, Raphael. I
Mhm.
think we can get going. So thanks everybody for joining the June meeting of the Parks and Environment Committee for Queen CB2. We have Garcia from the Parks Department here, which is great because we have a couple of questions. Thanks for joining us, Garcia. We appreciate it. Um, We have a short agenda, so we'll see how long takes to get through each item. Two letters we're going to talk about. The first thing I just want to get into is the Davidson Playground or Friends of Davidson Playground request from the Parks Department. Garcia, I don't know if you could talk through a little bit of what's going on with Davidson Playground, and then you can let us know what you need from the community board, if it's like a letter of approval or if it's a motion or whatever it is you need from us. I think, we definitely want to make sure that, the park is kept after and really appreciate the community stepping in to support.
All right, yeah. So evening, everybody. I'm Garcia Regis. I'm actually the park manager for Community Board One and Community Board Two. There was a request by the Friends of Davison Playground to actually lock the playground up at nighttime. I think one of the biggest issues that they were afraid of that people would be actually hanging out after night. And I've been hearing concerns later on during the night that it's becoming like an actual dog run. The parks itself are actually we're okay with it. We're actually good with it. We just wanted to make sure that the community board was aware of what we were doing, and also if you guys had any pushback or any reason why they shouldn't be doing it. That's really what we're asking. Is there any concerns with this Friends of Davison opening the playground at 6 a.m. and closing it after hours? So there's nobody hanging around the park.
Okay, gotcha. So I guess my only question is that, and from my understanding, it seems like it's pretty regular practice for parks to close up some playgrounds and parks at night. Like most parks will close after sundown. So just confirming that it's like kind of a regular practice for most parks to do this.
So if you mean by locking up the park, not necessarily. There is a set hours for the parks. So there is actually a time that we are supposed to be out. It's mostly on the consolidated signs. So some parks are a little bit different. But normally, as you said, it's sun up to sundown. That's what time parks are closed. But in general, for us to be locking it, there are a few parks like that, but not a lot. Mhm.
Okay, gotcha. Does anyone else on the committee have questions or concerns or comments about the Friends proposal to lock the park up? Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah. So just to better understand, so it's typical course, even if the park is closed after hours, it's usually not locked. Is that what's different here?
That's correct. So it'd
Okay.
be actually locked. So there'd be a lock on the latch on the gate. Yeah.
Okay. And are there other parks in CB2 that are locked at night?
Yes, we do have one other park, Little Bush. So that's a little bit further away.
Okay, thank you.
I guess my only question would be, like multiple people will have keys, right? Like, are you worried at all about, I don't know, just like the volunteers not unlocking it or something?
Well, parks will have keys as well. So we still have staff regularly visiting it. So if we do notice that it's locked, we'll be opening it up. It's just at night, we generally don't have staff going around locking up the park. We normally have staff just locking up restrooms, and those hours mostly don't coincide with the same time that the park is officially closed.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Any other questions from folks? Okay, great. I really appreciate the overview. I think, hearing from all the folks here, I don't think we have any concerns. So feel free to proceed if you guys are already doing it. Great. And let us know if you need anything else from us. But otherwise, I think we're in good shape. Okay. So we have a brief segue, and then I think we'll come back to Garcia for a couple other things we have. And then we'll have room for public comment if anyone. I noticed there's a lot of folks here who aren't on the committee. We'll get to you guys. So just the letter from and it's actually parcel D, not parcel E. I keep getting confused. But Raphael had circulated the letter draft around that I had written. This is basically what Rob was asking for when he came to our committee meeting last time. I think some of the things that I kind of tried to lean into with this draft were not preventing or being obstructive to any kind of affordable housing that is potentially going to be built on the lot. I think that it would be really nice to have a park if there's nothing else going on, but if in short order HBD is trying to build affordable housing on this lot, I don't want to say that we don't want that. So that's kind of what I was trying to go with this letter. So curious if people have questions or thoughts or comments. And I think that the version I shared also has commenting ability. So if people want to suggest changes, you can do that as well.
I can go again.
Yeah, if anyone has, feel free to speak up. Otherwise,
So, I mean, the way that I interpret what Rob had shared before, I think his point of view is that this particular neighborhood under discussion has already been the focus of so much new construction that given the one LIC neighborhood plan and all the new housing that will come out of that, we hope that, I mean, I think the Parks and Service is actually saying it should be park instead of housing. So I can understand why we may not want to make that case, but it's also a little naive to say that, I mean, you can't have both. So that was my only question about the letter. I thought it was a little vague in that regard. And I also understand why, but
yeah, I mean, do you have recommendations for how you think it should be framed differently?
I just think, I mean, the conflict is you can't have a big open green space and also the amount of housing that was part of the Hunters Point South Development Plan. So, I think we as a committee would have to decide that we actually are supporting green space over housing. And again, that's a harder thing to say.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think that, so I guess what I'm trying to get across is not actually that we like support one thing over the other. It's almost like if they're gonna build housing here, I don't want to say don't build housing and build a park instead, right? But if they don't have plans for anything so far, or if there's nothing that's gonna happen soon, they should build a park.
Right.
That's what I'm kind of trying to get at. It's not really like I think if we're looking at a larger framework of sites, it's like we definitely want green space, right? But we're talking about one site, and I don't want to like halt any plans if they're already going to do something, I guess, is kind of where I'm coming from.
Right. No, and I think that's completely fair. Because the reality is, I mean, I've lived in the neighborhood for 17 years and I can see this space outside my window, and it has been empty all this time, right? I also know along with that part of the development plan of the neighborhood was that this site would be developed for housing, largely affordable housing. I don't recall right now how many units, but there's a massing plan that shows housing on that site. So maybe where we want to go is you can't just leave a site empty for 20 years when it could have been public space. So maybe there's something to that, and then maybe that's a way also to have both, because obviously if it's going to be developed, but as I understand it, I mean, the city hasn't even put the parcel out for bids yet, and it's been a very
Yeah.
long time.
So maybe we can put like a time frame in where like if HPD is not going to
Mhm.
develop affordable house or progress any affordable housing on the site in the next year, then they should move towards turning it into a public park, something like that.
Yeah, I
Or
think that's
how do you feel about that, Kevin?
yeah. I mean, I think that also it could be a discussion, right? So I think that we're obviously I think also the message here is that this neighborhood with the 5,000 new residents and how popular it has become within this part of Queens, there's and also the number of schools as well. We all feel like additional green space here would be a really great idea. So I mean, I think we should send a letter. I like the idea of some sort of time or schedule element to it that you're suggesting. I think that helps make it a more interesting discussion. But ultimately, if the city doesn't have the money or they're not going to move forward with working with a private developer to get it built, then they should do something else with it. And maybe
Yeah.
that's calling for.
Maybe we can also just like clarify that like yes, we want a park, but also the frustrating part is that nothing's being done with the space, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Let me
can I
edge that
just
in.
ask, Kevin, when you said that that you're aware of plans that there were or are plans to develop housing on that site, does that predate all this other development, like the plans to
It-
develop?
It,
Okay.
it does. The Hunters Park South Development Plan, because this was all, this is the land that was part of the Olympic bid in the 90s, I believe. And so every parcel has been developed. I mean, parcel E, and then they're now looking for a developer. I think they're choosing from developer bids to develop it. So all of it is up and running, and the housing is there. It's been given us quite empty around here, 17 years. It's been a really great thing for the neighborhood because there's more community, there's more diversity, there's more, it's a more vital neighborhood at this point. So it's gone really well. So this site is no different from the other 4 sites that have been developed. It's just that, it's similar to the degree that there are massing models that show, pretty dense housing and housing towers on all of these sites. Those have been built on 3 of the 5. The next one, again, they're moving forward on that with the developer selection. It's just that this site has fallen behind, and there doesn't seem to be an imminent plan to move forward. Is that vague enough?
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to suggest some edits based on what we talked about, and then I'll have Raphael circulate it around again. I don't want to wait till fall to send something, but I think we can work on it over the shared document and get something finalized. I don't think we're in disagreement about the majority of the email or of the letter.
Agreed.
Okay. All right, moving on to just some Q&A from Garcia. I think we have a couple things that I know Raphael had sent to the Parks Department, or we've sent to the Parks Department over the past couple of months that I just wanted to follow up on. And I'll start with some questions, and then if folks from the committee have questions, feel free to ask. But Garcia, we had a question. Kevin was hoping to see a copy of the 2025 presentation you guys did on the Lulu Dottie playground redesign. We were having trouble finding it online. Do you guys normally post those presentations online? And if not, could you follow up and share it with us?
So unfortunately, I do not have the presentation. Seems like I cannot even find the presentation. But what I will forward to you guys is some schematics. I think it's a little bit more updated than the one that you saw on the presentation, but I will forward that to Raphael, so you guys could have that.
Okay, great. Yeah, any information you have, I think we were just curious to see the designs. Kevin was maybe not on the committee when you guys presented, or he might have missed the day. So just and I don't have it either, so it'd just be helpful to have those.
Be honest with you, been here what 4 or 5 months, so I was not around when that presentation happened. So
Okay.
but we did do some research, and I will forward that to Raphael because we did find some schematics and a little bit of information. So hopefully that helps.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
The second question I have is just on the Murray Playground dog run, which we've been I'll maybe share some history, Garcia, first, because this was like maybe a year ago or so we were talking about this, but the Murray Playground dog run has been under construction for a little while. It was kind of like an emergency closure that was done because of it was a Superfund, or was deemed to be a Superfund site or Superfund issue at the location. And the community was really looking for an alternative in the meantime while you guys were working on reconstructing the dog park. And we were working with Eric a little bit to try to look at locations that were possible for a temporary dog run in the area. And we just kind of like fell off of the communication. There were some sites you guys looked at. And we were trying to see if there was any other available options that we could be exploring. And we kind of we didn't really get any updates after there were a couple of sites that were looked at. So I'm just curious if you have any updates on the construction timeline on the dog run right now, any alternative sites for a temporary dog run, and then if not, if you could just follow up with any of that information.
Well, as you know, it's going through the process for Murray, so it is in process. I think if you go into Capital Tracker, it'll tell you exactly where we are right now. But it is moving along. So hopefully that will open up soon. So I know there's a lot of dog runners at Court Square right now, and they're not happy that that's a passive lawn. I'll have to follow up because I wasn't aware you guys were looking for other sites. I guess the hardest part about Long Island City, it's not a lot of open space. So I know that dog run was pretty big to everybody. So I'll follow up on that, and I'll see if I can figure out where we stand on that.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. And I'm happy to share other like old emails we have of some of the sites we were looking at, the alternative sites. Kevin, you had a question?
Yeah, I also just wanted to add, I happened to walk by there last month, and the grass was 2, if not 3 feet tall in that area. So it just really felt unkempt, and I didn't see rats, but I would be surprised if there aren't. So I know it's a toxic site. I understand that there's a plan in place to renovate, to clean it, and also to renovate the area. But I also would like to understand what the DPR temporary measures are, just to make it as a neighborhood entity, even if it can't be used, to make it less unsightly.
Are we talking about the dog run in general or Murray in general?
The dog run area. So it's the east end of the park.
So if I'm correct, staff was actually in there just last week, so we try to trim it down as best as we can. Just try to stay on top, so it's at least aesthetically pleasing as best as we can. We don't want to make it look unkept, so we have been trying to tackle as much as we can just to try to keep it looking decent. I know everybody wants to dog run. Just kind of what happens when nobody uses an area, so we've been trying to stay on top of it as best as we can.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, it was looking pretty ragged a month ago, and even if the area is fenced off, there are benches just on the other side of those fenced areas, and people are sitting there. So, again, I really appreciate any efforts that can be made to make sure it doesn't look unsightly. So.
Yeah, that's to push. Regardless, I know it's they're going to be on their capital soon and all that stuff. We definitely want to try to keep it, as best as we can.
Sure. Great, thank you.
And I'm on the parks website right now. It says that in May of this year, they finished design for the playground, or sorry, for the dog run. So it still has to go through procurement before it gets into construction. So probably another year or so out, at least it
Yeah.
seems like.
That
But
sounds-
Garcia, if you can get back to us with confirmation, that would be helpful.
Yeah, that definitely sounds about right. So yeah, same thing. I'll definitely send it to Raphael.
Okay, thank you. And the last question I have before I'll turn it over to committee members if you have anything else, is just as you mentioned, the Court Square park, and some of the complaints that we've been hearing, and I'm sure you've been hearing about the dogs. I think something that one of our fellow community board members was looking for is just more signage, and also if there could be some kind of like enforcement blitz by some PEP officers giving out tickets at specific times. Curious if you guys have any resources you could allocate to that.
So I'm not sure when was the last time the member was there. We did actually add a good amount of signs, especially around the oval. There's actually a sign placed right in the middle of the longer lawn, closer to Court Square. So we definitely put the signage up. It's just hard. I just don't have a PEP officer to station there at all times, and it just seems to me that it could be at any given moment that somebody would be there with a dog. So it's kind of hard for me to say there's one particular time there's more dogs than others. So I do know PEP has been going there, and I'm not going to say every day, but I know they've been stopping by at least a few times a week, just just to do a tour and hopefully educate individuals. And I'm not 100% sure how many summons, but I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't given out at least one or two yet already.
And could we, if we had some like specific times when we think that it's the worst, could we give those to you and you could direct the
Yes.
PEP officers to ticket at that time?
Yes, if you're noticing that there's a particular time or and day, especially, I'll definitely forward that up, and hopefully, they will be able to stop by during that particular time instead of other times.
Okay, great. We can do that. We can pull some times from Isabella and share that over.
Perfect.
Okay, I think that's all my questions. From other committee members, do you guys have questions for Garcia?
I'll just also mention we talked about having DPR plan some visits to the parks and the neighborhoods and tours. So I think we've been talking about that for a year or two now. So it'd be great if we could get something on the schedule for that.
Yeah, Raphael followed up over email, and we'll work on scheduling something for the summer over email. I'm not going to ask Garcia to give us all his availability on the call, but we definitely want to set something up.
Yeah, I think it would be definitely helpful if there are any parks that are coming up for renovation. Like anything that's going to be shared with us in the year or two ahead, it would be great to be out in front of those now and to visit.
Sounds good. I think normally like in August, they normally do like, the budget concept with the community board. So, but yeah, we could definitely try to set something up. And if you have a particular agenda, so I could bounce it off of the parks team as well.
Okay, great. Elena, did you have something?
Yeah, just a question for you, Carlos, related to the budget needs process this summer. What are you thinking in terms of like organizing committee ideas or like raising community budget requests for environment and parks, and like how can we I don't know, work together to get those ideas going or pass them through you?
Yeah, if you have ideas, I feel like definitely share them with me. I think the normal timeline process for that is we basically just submitted a couple months ago, our budget proposals. So we kind of have to wait another year before we submit more. But I'm happy to take them now. I'm also I think I brought it up at the committee meeting where we were going to submit them, which is I think how I normally would do it because I have to submit them for our committee. But I basically submit anything that you guys want me to submit. So it can be a discussion about ideas, but also if you just want to send me stuff, Elena, like I can keep that for next year.
Okay,
And
yeah.
also if
I mean, we get those together in like September, don't we, to submit in like October? Or
Raphael,
am
do
I
you
off
remember
on
the
my
timeline?
timing?
I thought it was submitted in like maybe like February for because it would be in like the budget that's passed in June. But I could be wrong. I think we can let me confirm. I don't actually know off the top of my head. I don't remember.
That's all good. I thought it was October last year, but maybe I'm off. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
was just
think it's
thinking about
October.
doing some. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know what month anything is. But
We've
is there
got
anything
time.
is there a process that you think it would be more helpful besides just discussing it and people bringing ideas to a specific meeting?
No, I don't know. Maybe if we just want to start like a Google Doc or something that committee members can add to, just so we can see what each other are thinking. I was just thinking personally about doing like some biking around the neighborhood this summer and checking out. I feel like we don't talk much about Woodside parks as much. So I wanted to like, I don't know, take myself on some site visits around the parks that we have.
Yeah, sure. We can definitely start something and keep an ideas sheet open
Yeah, that'd be
just so
great.
we're ready to go when the budget is submitted in October. Okay. Well, Garcia, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you being on. I think we'll go over to public comment. We have a lot of folks. So I guess if folks want to raise their hand and I'll go through in order. Jamie, you can start.
Hi, good evening. Jamie McShane. Here on behalf of the Friends of Michael Davidson Playground. And I just want to thank this committee for supporting our proposal to open and lock the gates after hours. I'd like to propose a site visit to the Michael Davidson Playground. In case you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful little playground. There was a conversation earlier tonight about Parcel E and the frustration of looking at a vacant lot and sitting there year after year. The Friends of Michael Davidson Playground, we know about that frustration because I think it's been 20 more, certainly more than 20, maybe 30 years that we sat and looked at this vacant lot. And we're so grateful to the Parks Department for delivering this gorgeous, beautiful asset to the community. And when people hear the story about the little boy who grew up across the street, who played in that playground, who grew up to become a New York City firefighter, and then make the ultimate sacrifice and die in the line of duty for protecting our city, it's such a deeply meaningful story. And to see this vacant lot, this 30-year vacant lot transformed into a beautiful space where you see toddlers running around playing. If you haven't seen it, it's a great joy to our neighborhood. So I'm happy to tell you we have an active team of neighbors who are volunteering, who want to protect and keep this really beautiful public asset beautiful, and we want to support the Parks Department. I want to thank Garcia and his colleague in Parks, Eric Getz, who've been in close contact with us, keeping us in the loop, and everyone at the Parks Department for what they've done. And thank you to this committee for being partners with us. And we'll look forward to coming back here telling you about planting bulbs in the fall or good community events that we're going to have at this little playground. Thanks. That's about it.
Thanks, Jamie, so much. Yeah, really appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I'm glad that it's going well. I'm putting my email in the chat. If you ever need to reach out for anything from the committee, let me know. Happy to help in any way we can, but appreciate you guys. Anyone else for public comment? Feel free to raise your hand. Okay. Seeing none. I'll just go to old business. Old business first. Anyone have anything they want to raise?
Carlos, I think Doug.
Well, I wanted to make a comment if I'm able.
Oh, sorry, Doug. Sure, yeah, go ahead. I missed your hand. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say that I did the second draft on the proposal, and it took me a bit longer to do than I had expected because there's so much information and research that I did to be super comprehensive about it. There's a number of documents that Raphael now has. It's about a dozen, but there is the full body proposal that's 30 pages, and then there's a companion document that explains the history of spheres and how it began here in Queens at the 39 World's Fair and the significance of this. Did a lot of studying and put it in there for everybody to get a really clear understanding what the value is of having a park here, because it's actually very beautiful, and it's a sort of a lost paradise right now because the nature persists here. We have all kinds of birds from many different species, and there's just an opportunity to create things like a band shell right here over this deck. I mean, it's just incredible, and I designed it all. When you see it, I think it'll be pretty eye-opening for you. And we have a dog run now in this plan that's very impressive. We have a marina with kayaks, canoes, paddle boats. Got basketball, volleyball, ice skating, roller skating, ice hockey, roller hockey, just you name it. Basketball in a gymnasium that I designed, and the budget went significantly higher because of the fact that a lot of things got revealed to me that I didn't know at first, and then I'm looking at how much more everything's going to cost in the future. So I really don't want to put together numbers on this. That's not what I'm into. I'm not an accountant, a bean counter. I'm a conceptualist. I'm an artist, and I think I did the community well with what I put together. And when you all see it, I think you're going to really want to see this happen. This is something that deserves to happen. This is something that deserves to serve all of New York, not just this local community. It's much more than a park. It's really basically a campus. It has many different aspects about it that makes it very eligible for all kinds of grant funding. And one of my colleagues is very close to the lobbyists for the Big Five, and he's convinced that he could get all of the money for the park from the industrial community here. So that was a very positive comment that I heard from him. And it's many millions of dollars now, but it's pretty deep. I'm not going to boast about it, but I'm so satisfied with what I put together. It took me a long time because I really wanted to make it so that there's nothing to not like. Everybody's included under the tent. There's stuff for the kids, for the elderly, workshops for art, just a beautiful farmer's market. I mean, I really colored the pictures clearly. You can see what this is going to be. 3 boathouses on this creek that's basically nothing creek right now because it's waiting to be decontaminated. But, we've been working really hard here,
Doug, you can keep going, but I'm going to put you on a 2-minute timer, just to make sure we have time.
No, that's okay, brother. Nah, it's okay. I just wanted to show you firsthand what's going on here. They have to fix this highway. It's all rusted and things fall down. It's not really safe. And, we know they're coming. So whatever we got here, me and Gil and others, we're going to just clear out and clean up and get ready to get out of the way. Because there's nothing I want to do to inhibit these people once they come. So I want to see this happen. I got 10 years of commitment to this space. And from the first bag of garbage, it was all about, it's going to be a park one day. I knew it, felt it in my bones. And so I want the support of Community Board 2. I want you to look closely at it, get back in touch with me, and any letter of support you can give me. I'm going to be going to politicians and captains of industry, all of them. I'm going to go to the mayor's office. I'm going to be seeing everybody. but I did not want to go anywhere without going to you folks first, and particularly you, Carlos. I see you're dedicated, you sacrifice, you have others around you that sacrifice. You're really fully, truly committed to this community and bettering it and creating park spaces, which we struggle for here. We don't have enough park spaces in this community. And this place here, an acre and a half of land and quite a lot more on the water, we could have a killer park here. We really can. I want to see the community get behind this and see the vision that I have. That's about all I need to say. I have the vision, and you're going to see it now. There's about over a dozen documents waiting for you. Okay.
That's great. Yeah.
Pretty good.
And I think we definitely support a park in the area. And I think we've actually already sent letters to council members to the council member at least, or other elected officials, about doing a park here. So happy to up that as well. Thanks, Doug.
Okay, God bless
Appreciate
you.
it.
Have a great have a great summer off. And stay in touch with me if you want any point in the summer. And if not, I'll see you in September, as the saying goes. So
Sounds good.
I'm gonna be on my feet, running around, knocking on doors, and I'll report back to you guys about whatever has happened. That may be good. I think it will be.
Thanks,
All
Doug.
right.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to move on to old business. I think we covered a lot of stuff from Garcia, which was great. And we'll follow up on those things. Anything else that people have they want to bring up? And I'll do new business too. And related to new business, actually, Elena, can I actually task you with creating a document and sharing it with Raphael for budget ideas?
Absolutely. I can get that going.
And just ask him to circulate it to the committee, and we can keep it running.
Will do.
And I can also probably add what we submitted last year, just so we have a starting point of reference.
A good starting point. Yeah, sure.
Cool. Anyone else have new business?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I meant to say, if there's anybody else that wants a copy of the documents, just info@Dutch Kills Park, and I will send you the link for Dropbox, and you will get all of them at once. Cheryl has requested; she's gotten it. I think there are some others, and so if anybody wants it, just let me know, and I'll send it off to you. Sorry.
Yeah, I think if Raphael has it, he'll make sure that we have it for sure.
Okay.
Kevin, did you have something?
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to bring up, I don't have a lot of good info to share, but I do hope that this committee can stay close on what's happening with the One LIC neighborhood plan in terms of parks development. As I shared with you, Carlos, I just read something that the Con Ed space, which is really important for the continuity of the green waterfront, that there were some holdups on that. And I also know, I think with the latest budget, there were some things missing in terms of park space for the area. So I'm not sure how to. I mean, I know there's the oversight committee as well, and some members of the board are on that. So maybe that's the first connection point to make. But I think I think we can have a voice to make sure that the city is following up on what they promised in terms of parks for the One LIC area.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't actually, I'm not on the oversight committee, but some of the board members who would definitely be closer to that. And we can always ask Prameet too, what he knows about recent updates.
Great. Yeah, I just think it's something I want to make sure that, if it's ever useful for us to have a voice in terms of how it's developing, then we should do it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because the budget has to be done next week, the city budget. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any new light shed on what money we're getting after that.
Yeah. I'll also do some more research and share it if I find anything that seems prudent.
Yeah, and if I think something that could be nice is like at an appropriate time, maybe having someone from the oversight committee come to our committee and just talk about park stuff. I don't know when the appropriate time for that would be, but I can check with Anatole about what the deal is with that, and we can get in touch with them.
That's a great idea. I support it.
Okay, cool. All right, any other items from committee members? All right. I'm going to follow up with Raphael, and we'll talk to Garcia about some of those items. And then I will make some edits to the Parcel D letter based on what we talked about. I'll try to do it in track changes so you can see what I changed. And then I'll send it around again, and folks can take a look. Feel free to make some edits now too. I think we can work in tandem. I want to try to get it out in the next week or so. I don't want to wait on it too long. Okay. I think we're good then to close out. Everyone have a happy 4th of July. Happy summer. I guess I'll see everybody in September if I don't see you at the board get together that hopefully we're having this summer. But stay cool out there. Have a nice summer, everybody. Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Have a nice
Bye.
summer.